Hello and welcome to this video lecture for the University of Connecticut's online course, Classics and Ancient Mediterranean Studies 1103, Classical Mythology. I'm Roger Travis, Associate Professor of Classics at the University of Connecticut, and whether you're enrolled in this course or not, I hope you enjoy the lecture and learn something about new ways of looking at classics and at myth. Thanks for watching.
So Pythagoras' speech, which dominates the beginning of Book 15 of the Metamorphoses, provides one piece of background to figuring out what Ovid is doing at the very end when he starts talking about Rome itself, the Rome that would have been familiar to his audience, the Rome of Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar. Another part of the puzzle is understanding the way that Rome related to violence. And there's really no better way to introduce that discussion than to think about one of the features of ancient Roman life that nearly everybody knows about who's become aware of Rome at all, which is the gladiators. Now, it's very easy for us to lose sight of just how incredibly violent the entertainments that Romans went to in their arenas were. So it makes a lot of sense to actually take a look at a clip from Ridley Scott's movie Gladiator that, despite several inaccuracies in the way it portrays gladiatorial combat, nevertheless seems to me to get very close to the feeling that must have been there in the gladiatorial arena. And at the same time, it also expresses some concepts that I think are actually central to our understanding of what the gladiators were about and how they related to Rome as a greater whole.
Proximo, I shall be closer to you for the next few days, which will be the last of your miserable lives, than that bitch of a mother that brought you screaming into this world. I did not pay good money for you for your company. I paid it so that I could profit from your death.
Spaniard, why don't you fight? We all have to fight. Is that the sign of your gods? Will that not anger them?
Some of you are thinking you won't fight. And some that you can't fight. They all say that until they're out there. Listen. Thrust this into another man's flesh, and they will applaud and love you for that. You may begin to love them for that. Ultimately, we're all dead men. Sadly, we cannot choose how, but we can decide how we meet that end in order that we are remembered as men.
Three things I want to take away from that clip. The first of them is simply that amazing atmosphere of violence and the way that for Rome, and this is something that Ovid obviously would have been very much aware of and very thoughtful about, that for Rome, violence was entertainment. Horrible, real, bloody violence. The second thing is the way gladiators can be compared to modern-day celebrities. And one way to put this, just to make a data point on our graph of Roman culture, is that wealthy Roman matrons, the ones that Augustus was forbidding to commit adultery and telling had to have a certain number of children, would bribe guards. Gladiators were slaves, and we'll talk about that more in a moment. Wealthy Roman matrons would bribe guards to go in and sleep with these gladiators. Gladiators, that is, were in a certain sense the equivalent of rock stars. And you can see that in the clip from Gladiator at the moment when they win the battle and Maximus, the Russell Crowe character, looks around and realizes the adulation he's receiving from his new fans. And the third thing I want to take away from that clip is what the Proximo character says about why you should go into the ring if you're a gladiator and do your best. That is, ultimately, we are all dead men, but if you're a gladiator, you have a say over how that death is going to happen. And that's what's going to lead us on to the conceptual basis of the violence of Rome in the next segment.